Hi everyone, this is Marina with Chef Sparrow. I hope life is treating you well. Today we are making cottage cheese from scratch. Cottage cheese might be one of the most underrated superfoods out there. It uses very simple ingredients, but it's packed with protein, it's rich in calcium, and incredibly versatile. You can enjoy it sweet or savory. You can add to it whatever you like. You can also make pastries with it too. It's been a staple in Eastern European kitchens for generations. Simple, fresh, and deeply nourishing. My dad taught me how to make this at home. And one thing I hear a lot when I'm talking to people and when we talk about homemade cottage cheese, they complain that homemade cottage cheese often turns out too sour. So today I'll show you a trick my dad taught me how to get rid of that sourness completely. My dad makes big batches, about 5 kilos at a time, because he likes to treat his grandkids and neighbors. But 5 kilos is way too much for a small family. Here is a clip of my dad making cottage cheese, big batch. Today I am making it on my own for the first time and using a much smaller amount of ingredients. We will need 1 gallon of whole milk. Make sure it's not ultra-pasteurized. 1 quart of buttermilk, any kind works, but if you find 3.25%, that's even better. You can use 2% milk if you want, but in my opinion, whole milk gives a much creamier result. It tastes a lot better. Mix half a gallon of milk with the buttermilk in a large pot and save rest of the milk for later. Keep it in a cooler. Make sure you leave enough room for the mixture to expand when heating. Leave it on the kitchen counter to ferment. I usually keep it overnight because we want the probiotic cultures to develop, right? And my house is about 74 degrees Fahrenheit, plus minus 2 degrees. Once the mixture looks fermented like this, place it on the stove over very low heat. Do not let it go too much above 140 degrees Fahrenheit. We are gently warming it, just enough for curds to form. As the curds develop, gently move them from side toward the center. You'll see the liquid separating. That's completely normal. Once everything has curled, turn off the heat. Then prepare a strainer lined with cheesecloth and carefully transfer everything into it. Be careful, it's very hot. Let it drain. If you have a press like I do, you can use it here. I'll leave a link in the description for the press. Once most of the liquid has drained, heat the remaining half gallon of milk to about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. While it's warming up, break the curds into smaller pieces. Now place the drained curds into the warm milk. This is the key step. This is what removes that sour taste. Let the curds form again. Once you see all the new milk transform into curds and the liquid separated again, then transfer everything back into the cheesecloth and let it drain, or you can use press again. After draining, transfer the cottage cheese onto a plate or a baking sheet. Let it cool, but just enough so you can handle it. Don't wait too long. Otherwise, the curds will become too firm and harder to separate. Gently break them apart to your desired texture. Once fully cooled, transfer to an airtight container and store in the fridge for up to 1 week. This homemade cottage cheese is not only rich in protein and calcium, but also full of life cultures and probiotics, so it's best enjoyed fresh. You can freeze it, but after it has been frozen and thawed out, the curds will be very, very fine And I don't know, I personally do not really like them that small. You can eat it plain with sour cream, condensed milk, berries, raisins. I like to add raisins and sour cream, or you can add anything you like. Thank you for cooking with me today. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye.